To go first quarter as Wilkinson fires the second one, and she misses it. Rebound tipped around a couple of times, controlled by Waverly. Bodies on the floor, ripping it away is number 3, Lambrick, away from the York Dukes defense. She'll give it off to Kottman. Kottman for Waverly has it right to left. Now Christensen working top of the key. Here is Jackson, back to Kottman. Kottman flashes Christensen down low. Layup no good, but Christensen is going to go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, good move right there. A little bit of a, motion action with the backside pin down with the wheel finish for Christensen. She would have liked to have been able to be at the line for an and one. Nevertheless, they get their star player going early. I like that type of philosophy to get everybody a quick touch, and then obviously ends up in 23's hands because you feel very confident that she can finish the play.
Parker Christensen misses the first free throw. The second one is coming, and she misses that one as well. Waverly, though, with an offensive rebound. Kottman with the pass out to the right side. Now three-pointer on the way, and it's good for number 3. That is Berkeley Lambrick. And York trails 3-1 here with 7:12 to go in the first quarter. York basketball. They throw it up the other side here in the corner. It's number 13. This is Cook with it. Now left side on the wing is Wilkinson. Wilkinson cross-court pass back to Cook. Chloe Cook with it. Has it, crosses over left to right, working on Anderson Harms. Anderson Harms forces her to give it up to Portwine. Portwine working on the right side, hands it off back to Cook. Cook spin move on Harms. Now bouncing off of her, gives it to Portwine. 4 on the possession. Portwine in the lane. She misses the shot, and going the other way, here come the Waverly Vikings. Christensen running the floor up to Anderson Harms. Harms with it. She'll slow it down with 6.5 to play in the first quarter. Harms going off the screen, steps back, shot fake, and she'll bounce it to Christensen. On the left side now is Kottman. Kottman has it at the logo, 6:22 to play in the first quarter.
Christensen does a really good job of controlling the pace. And sometimes when you're a star player, you force it. Even though she's 0 for 2 from the field, everything's within the offensive system. That's why Waverly has been so good this year.
Waverly misses a shot on the attempt by Parker Christensen. York has the basketball, trailing by 2. 3-1 is your score, 6:02 to play in the first quarter. Here, reach and foul called on Anderson Harms. It's going to be team foul number 2. Officials calling it a little tighter than maybe we've seen in the early stages of this one.
Yeah, it's a new young crew. They're calling everything a little tight, Nick. Maybe that's just –
Stop.
It's not. It is a little tight. We got a lot of fouls here.
It is a tad tight.
Very tight.
York has the basketball near the logo on the right side. It is Kern. Kern gives it to Portwine. Portwine to Cook. Cook fires the 3, unable to hit it, and the rebound's going to hit off the Waverly Vikings, and it will go off to the Dukes. Parker Christensen couldn't believe that one, but then the referee pointed at the Waverly Viking player that hit it, and she goes, okay, yeah, I did hit it, and Christensen had nothing to argue there.
Hey, honesty is the key.
It's the best policy.
You need to practice.
It's the best policy, Jay. I'm all about policy. Here on the right side is Portwine. Portwine on the right wing, top of the key. It's to Cook. Cook for York, trailing by 2. Kicks it out, 3-ball on the way for the York Dukes. Can't connect on the attempt by Jacobson for the York Dukes. And Waverly cleans up the miss with 5.5 to go in the first quarter.
We're still in the feeling out process with both teams. A little nerves, but then also they're trying to see what they can get away with and what they can't.
Parker Christensen at the top of the key. Tried to get it to Anderson Harms, unable to do so. Now Christensen at the top, hands it off here to Lambrick. Lambrick looking around, pivoting, throws it down into the paint. Body's on the floor. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touched by the York Dukes. It stays with Waverly.
I like that little secondary cut by Parker Christensen. Just a little bit off target, but also the previous cutter from Waverly didn't fully clear the lane, Nick, so they obviously a little friendly fire there, but nevertheless they get to keep possession.
3-1 the score. Waverly on top. 5:13 to go in the first quarter. They inbound at Christensen in the lane. She gets bopped on the head. She'll go to the line to shoot 2. She missed the layup, though, and Christensen, where she is 0 for 2 on the night from the free throw line, she goes right back there.
Nick, we didn't even hear the whistle from the ref because of the attendance of the Waverly Vikings fan base, and then obviously I think they're the York Dukes, right?
Yeah.
The York Dukes. Almost going to be the home of former ticket Nate Brennan.
Well, they're not moving.
Well, no, they are. You just don't know yet. You're not close enough.
Oh,
but anyways.
Is that right? Did you get invited to the bachelor party?
No,
I did. Parker Christensen.
I want to say, though, the
2.
attendance all day from even, Sydney, 5.5 hours, actually 5 hours and 37 minutes away, has been excellent.
Yeah. We have a turnover on the floor. York turns it over, and it's going to be Waverly basketball. Parker Christensen hit one of 2 free throws at the line. Baseline inbound, Aniston Harms, the inbounder, looking to inbound it. They get it in to number 24, King for the Waverly Vikings. Christensen with it to Harms. Arms with it, top of the key. She has the basketball. Pass deflected, taken away by Cook, and the York Dukes coming the other way, trying to push the pace. They do not have numbers, though. Cook will slow it down, give it left side. 3 ball from the left wing, and it just rattles out on the attempt by Kern for the York Dukes. Here comes Parker Christensen and the Waverly Vikings across the timeline. Parker Christensen calls out a play. The point forward running the show here as King has it to Harms. Harms thought about trying the trifecta, unable to get it off, though, or passed it up, rather. King back to Christensen. Christensen at the elbow, spots up, jumper, off back iron, too strong. And now offensive rebound. King, the putback, rattles out, missed the bunny. 4-1 is your score. The Waverly Vikings lead by 3, but York is pushing the pace in the lane. The layup too good, too strong, and it bounces out of bounds. It'll stay with the York Dukes.
Yeah, Parker Christensen a little bit frustrated now because she's had 3 good looks and then 0 for 3. Obviously, the jump shot was probably not the best shot selection, but nevertheless, she's expected one to go in. I think, you know what, just a little nerves of Waverly, right? And I think the pesky active hands, active feet of the York Dukes is giving them a little bit of problem keeping them off rhythm offensively.
York will inbound it. Here they get it into Anderson, who freshly checked into the game. A high arcing 3 on the attempt. No good. The rebound saved from going out of bounds into the hands of the York Dukes. Portwine has it, and we have a foul on the Waverly Vikings.
You know, Nick, the Waverly Vikings have probably the more size, right? Yeah. And probably obviously experience when you have a really good player, Parker Christensen. But to offset that size, we talked about it with Bellevue West last night against Bellevue East, and we've seen it, and we'll see it again next week. Ball pressure and tenacity and speed and quickness to long shots actually plays into the hands of a team like the York Dukes.
Pass out inside. It's almost taken away, but York is able to hold on to it. They still trail this one 4-1. Nobody able to take the lid off the bucket with ease here early on this one. Great move inside, and the layup is good by number 13 for the York Dukes. That's Chloe Cook, the senior guard, gets on the board.
Yeah, really good job there with delayed high pick and roll. Good finish there by Cook.
Here's Aniston Arms, hands it off in the lane. Lambrecht is going to be fouled. A late whistle called against the York Dukes, and Lambrecht will go to the line to shoot 2 shots with Waverly leading 4-3. 3:34 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, the Waverly Vikings got it quick into their fast break, went into secondary break, a quick dribble handoff. Good finish there by Lambrecht. Tried to get between the 2 defenders. Got kind of bailed out because she shot it underneath the hoop, but she's at the charity stripe right now.
The first free throw is good. It's 5-3 now, Waverly.
You going to say that one sat on the back rail?
I will not. The second free throw on the way for Lambrecht. That one is no good. Hit off the back iron. So here comes Portwine for the York Dukes up the floor with York trailing by 2 as looking for help with it. They try to throw it across the court, and Parker Christensen's able to grab the basketball. Christensen running the length of the floor. She has it on the right side. King flashed down low, had an opportunity to get it down to her. Christensen tried to drive instead, and she gets it poked out of bounds. Last touch by York. It'll stay on that end of the floor with the Waverly Vikings.
I think that was a perfect example right there when you talk about the speed and quickness of the York Dukes, and actually, obviously, is a pretty deep bench, as we've seen in multiple players coming in a substitution. Parker Christensen thought she had a fast break, but just when she started to look up, York Dukes got back to stymie her progress.
Harms passes it off. Here is number 12, Jackson, for the Waverly Vikings. Throwing up a 3-pointer is Lambrecht, unable to connect, and it's going to be 5-3 still with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Waverly out in front by 2. Here's York. They pass it left side. With it on the left side is Chloe Cook, in the lane. Chloe Cook tried the body control, tried to hesitate. The ball fought for a collision of 3 players, no whistle. Players are slow to get up, and they're going to let them play on. Waverly up the floor to Lambrecht. Lambrecht crosses over, and now they're going to call that a reach-in foul.
Yeah, there was a pretty big collision there at half court. They let them play in. Maybe a little bit of touch foul, but you know what? I think Lambrecht is doing a really good job is being decisive with their moves and embracing the contact and still trying to finish versus sometimes players stop.
5-3 is the score. Waverly with the basketball. Looking. Aniston Arms down low to King. This is number 12, Jackson. The layup is no good. It rattles out, but she is fouled, and she'll go to the line to shoot 2 shots with 2:34 in the first.
Yeah, the whole team or whole defensive squad of the York Dukes rotated to Parker Christensen, looked inside there to Jackson in a good attempt, a good step through up off the glass. Man, that's a tight rim down there. Was it tight for Pius as well?
It sure was. It was tight for Gretna East in that first half, too.
That's you know what you do as a coach, Nick? You ask the ref, you know what? We need to get the measure. We got to get the measuring tape out there.
Yeah. 5-3 the score. The first free throw was no good. 2:34 to play in the first quarter. The second free throw bounces off the rim, and nobody can buy a bucket. As up the floor it goes, here is Nichols for the York Dukes. Right side three ball to take the lead. Barely grazes the rim, and it's going to go back in the direction of the Waverly Vikings. York currently 1 for 9 from the field. Waverly Vikings currently 1 for 5.
Yeah, probably a little bit quicker shot than the York Dukes coaching staff would like, but you know what? They're playing really, really good defense, so it's keeping them in the game. And then also, York is already in the bonus. So if I'm Waverly, I'm trying to get something going downhill towards the bucket.
Here in the lane, Lambrecht in the Parker Christensen. Layup is good for Parker Christensen, and she now has her first field goal of the day.
That play was set up by Lambrecht. Deep dive into the middle of the lane. I call it Sherman Williams. Good finish there by Christensen.
Here is Portwine. The layup can't get it to go on the floater. It was a little too strong, and number 1, Kottman for Waverly has the defensive rebound. She hands it off to Aniston Harms. Harms with it at the top of the key. Crosses over. Harms steps back. Down low to Parker Christensen. Fade away floater. It rattles around and out. No good. The rebound tipped around. Portwine comes up with it, and she's bumped and fouled by number 1, Kenna Kottman, the junior guard for Waverly.
Right now, Parker Christensen, obviously you see her, not really truly frustrated, but just wondering, when can I see one go in? She just made a basket. Good mid-range there. Keeps rim going around the rim. You got to stay confident and stay in the moment because they'll eventually fall for it.
Here's Portwine for the York Dukes, trailing 7-3, 1:24 to go in the first quarter. Cook with it for the York Dukes on offense as the screen was blown up. The layup is good by Chloe Cook. She'll go to the line to shoot one more. She was fouled on the play as well.
Yeah, Nick, one thing right here, if I'm the Waverly head coach, I think that's two different possessions where number 20 for the York Dukes, I think, was a culprit of a moving screen, which then set up the easier basket there to get the and one and keep the game within reach. And so now to go from a 3-point or 4-point lead to now to a 1-point game based on that right there.
The 3-point play is converted on by Chloe Cook. Chloe Cook has 5 points for the York Dukes. In the lane, Christensen can't get the layup to fall. She gets her own miss, throws up a tough shot, and she is fouled. And she'll go to the line to shoot 2 shots. Chloe Cook for the York Dukes, 2 of 5 shooting. She has 5 of their 6 points.
Yeah, that was a big-time finish for her down on the other possession. But what do you do when you're Waverly? You run a little pin down and then a seal there by Christensen to get her an easy shot. Now she's at the free throw line trying to extend this lead.
Christensen able to make the first one. She'll have a second one coming up in just a moment. Waverly is one of their last 7 from the field. Christensen, though, on the day 2 for 5 from the free throw line. As a team, Waverly 3 for 9 from the charity stripe. Not great shooting numbers to start. However, Christensen has one more free throw coming up to try to extend the Waverly lead to 3. And she is unable to do so. It's 8-6 as that ball is tipped out of bounds. Last touch by the Waverly Vikings. 1:03 to go, first quarter, 8-6 your score. Waverly on top of the York Dukes in the Class B quarterfinal matchup. The winner of this one gets Gretna East tomorrow night at 7:45 p.m. The pass up the floor to Chloe Cook. Cook with it, left side. She passes it now to Kern. Kern in the lane. She gets the finish. A nice job by Kinsley Kern.
Yeah, that was a really cool looking shot there. That was an old school shot, a little bit of a running hook there, but nevertheless 2 points. For Kern right there.
Here's Aniston Harms. She passes it into the near corner. Here is Kottman. Kenna Kottman dishes it to King. King now to Christensen. Christensen bobbled it for a moment. Now gets it back. Cross-court skip pass to Kottman. Kottman to Harms. 13 on the possession, 27 on the game clock here. 8-8. We're all tied up. Top of the key. Kenna Kottman with it. Her defender fell down in the lane. The layup too strong. Christensen gets the rebound. She puts it in for 2 and a 10-8 Waverly lead. 14 seconds on the game clock here in the first quarter. Here's Portwine getting chased down from behind. She's knocked out of her hands. She gets it to the pass. Cross court. number 23 for York, hits the layup. That is number 23, Murphy Nichols. She'll go to the line with 5.5 on the game clock to try to give York the lead here at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, we start to see the pace pick up right there. Really good job by Christensen finishing through contact to get the 2-point basket. And then an even better job by the York Dukes, immediately knowing the situation and the time left on the clock, got it down over half court, secondary break, now at the line trying to get a 3-point play.
So Murphy Nichols will be at the free throw line. 5.5 on the game clock. 10-10. We're all tied up to give York their first lead of the game. And the free throw, no good. Defensive rebound to Waverly. 3 seconds on the clock. Anderson Harms winds up, fires away, and it's nowhere close. At the end of the first quarter, the Waverly Vikings and the York Dukes are tied 10 points apiece. Here as we enter the second quarter in 60 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
You know you want those Wingstop boneless wings. With the boneless meal deal from Wingstop, you get 20 boneless wings in 4 delicious flavors and a large order of hand-cut fries for just $16.99. What are you waiting for? More wings, more flavor, more bang for your buck. The $16.99 boneless meal deal from Wingstop. Order now from wingstop.com. Valid at participating locations for a limited time on orders for pickup or delivery placed via wingstop.com or the Wingstop app. Prices may vary by location. See wingstop.com/offers for full details. You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you the highest quality roofing solutions. Whether it's new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Now back to the action at Pinnacle Bank Arena for the 2025 State Basketball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. Start of the second quarter. We're all tied up at 10 apiece as Waverly has the basketball to start. Waverly at the top of the key, passes right side to Anderson Arms. Arms with it. Gets the screen left. Now Arms at the free throw line. Picks up her dribble, trying to get it to Christensen. It gets to Lambrecht instead, and she traveled with it. As good defensive possession there by the York Dukes to start the second quarter.
Yeah, Lambrecht got a little bit over her skis because Jackson was going on a back cut. She thought Jackson was going to stay home for a kick-out three.
York Dukes with the basketball, tied up, 7:38 to go in the second quarter. 10-10, we're all knotted up between York and Waverly. Here, last game of the quarterfinals before semifinal Friday begins tomorrow. They'll hand it off. Here is Kern for York. Now into the far corner. Wilkinson, Portwine fires the three, unable to get it to fall, and the defensive rebound. Nice job there by Jackson for the Waverly Vikings, grabbing that defensive rebound. Hannison Arms with it near the logo, guarded by Portwine of York. 10-10, we're all tied up, 7:06 to play in the second quarter. Out to Christensen. Christensen, 5 steps behind the three-point line, passes it now left side to Anderson Arms. Arms in the lane, can't get it to fall, and a nice strong defensive rebound by Portwine for the York Dukes.
You know, Nick, right now the lid is on both sides on the rim is not allowing them to be, to obviously score at the magnitude they'd normally like. But I think you got to keep running your sets, get it to your better players, because eventually they'll start going in.
On the far side, here is Wilkinson for York. Now to Chloe Cook. Cook with it. Left side, it's deflected out of bounds. Last touched by the Waverly Vikings. The York Dukes with the basketball, sideline inbound. They get it into Portwine. Portwine has it near the logo. Now guarded closely by Kenna Cotman. A risky pass. Almost went into the York Duke, or rather Waverly bench. 3 ball on the way as shot clock expires. Had a good look at it. And a nice strong rebound, like Jay said, by McIntyre of Waverly. 6:15 to play, second quarter. 10-10 your score. On the right side, here's Waverly. And they throw it back up top, down low to Christensen at the Big Ten logo. Inside out game, 3 ball on the way. And Cotman can't get the three-pointer to go. It circled the rim, miss on the follow-up shot, and a somewhat intentional foul by the York Dukes on the shot attempt the third time around. And the Waverly Vikings will go to the free throw line.
That was a good offensive rebound by Jackson of chasing a long shot for a long rebound, but did a sneaky little move there, Nick. She very easily could have went up on the left side, but went underneath the hoop and caused Kern to foul her on the shot.
Yeah. Waverly misses the free throw. They are now 3 for 11 from the charity stripe. The York Dukes shooting 26% from the field, 0 for 7 from beyond the three-point line, while Waverly shooting 23% from the field and 1 for 3 from beyond the three-point line. They're also shooting 33% from the free throw line are the Waverly Vikings. Kicks it out, three-pointer for York. On the way, missed it. They're now still 0 for 8. Waverly Vikings collect the miss. A nice job there by Kenna Kopman to collect the miss for the Waverly Vikings, who lead it 11-10 with 5:41 to go in the second quarter. Down low, Christensen working on the defender, Chloe Cook in the lane, and we have a foul called against the York Dukes as Christensen will go to the line.
Yeah, that was the old school motion play where they put Christensen on the weak side of the offensive set and then delayed her to cut to the ball. And then once she got the defender on her back, she got to the free throw line, causing a foul. The one thing I can't go understated, Nick, and we've been harping on the free throw percentage all tournament long, is the depth perception that's off. Now, warming up is one thing. Shooting with the anxiety and nerves and excitement during the game is another. And then also the background. It's not anything that they've been able to. You can't go somewhere and practice this. So I think that also, if you're able to get through the first game, I think you're going to see a drastic uptick in the shooting percentage, both from the field, three-point line, obviously, and then obviously the free throw line as well.
It's 13-10 after Christensen converts both free throws for the Waverly Vikings. 5:33 to play in the second quarter. 13-10, the Vikings on top of the York Dukes. Portwine with it at the top of the key. Spin move in the lane, kicks it out. Now left side, here is Nichols. Nichols to Chloe Cook. Cook in the lane, takes it to the rim. Nice job on the drive by Chloe Cook.
Yeah, that was a really good job there. Chloe Cook just taking a little bit of time and exercising patience, and then when she drove, the lane opened up magnificently.
On the left side, top of the key, driving in the middle of the lane. Nobody stops ball, but missing the layup was number 30, McIntyre, for the Waverly Vikings. Waverly still leads at 13-12. York with the basketball, though, trailing by 1 with 4:50 play in the second quarter. We have a touch, reach, and foul on number 10. That is number 10 for the Waverly Vikings, Ava Amos.
Yeah, it was, I don't know what's going on down at, what would that be, the south end?
South side, yep.
The south end rim. There is nothing going in. That looked like a perfect layup attempt, but nevertheless, it didn't go in. But the defensive side, Waverly has definitely been locked in here.
The Waverly Vikings tip it out of bounds. It's going to stay with the York Dukes. 4:44 to play in the second quarter. 13-12 is your score. Waverly on top of York by 1. Portwine gets the basketball for the Dukes at the top of the key. They turn, hand it off to Chloe Cook, who's been really the main consistent source of offense. Three-pointer on the way for the York Dukes. Still can't buy a bucket as Cook falls on the ground, and she wanted a foul. Up the floor in transition go the Vikings. In the lane, Amos gets the layup, draws the foul. I thought gets the layup because it was such a good look at it, but Amos misses the layup. She's going to the line to shoot too.
Yeah, on these long threes, and you know what, I think, Nick, more than any of the previous 2 years that we've done this, I think more three attempts have been shot in the first day and a half than maybe we've seen in a very long time. So what's really drastic is the way that they're missing the long rebounds. So if you don't really prepare for that, that means you don't have to run into the lane, maybe 2 or 3 steps inside the three-point line. If you don't understand that, there will be a lot of collisions like we saw down here on this end.
Ava Amos goes 1 for 2 at the free throw line. It's a 14-12 Waverly lead. If you can't tell, points are at a premium today. We're a quarter and a half in to the ball game. It's 14-12. Here's Chloe Cook. Spin move at the free throw line. Kicks it back out to Anderson for the York Dukes. Anderson with it, pivots inside the fingernail. Now throws it into the out-of-bounds area across the scores table, and it will be a turnover for the York Dukes. That is their 3rd turnover of the day.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, as far as you think when you have 4 minutes left in the second quarter before half, you're like, okay, it's 14-12. It has to be a super sloppy game. It really hasn't. They just cannot buy a bucket on either end for each team.
Aniston Harms has a Band-Aid on her right knee that's barely hanging on. It's halfway off, and the cut is exposed. Parker Christensen airballs a 3 from the near corner. Now York collects the miss, and they have a 2-point deficit to deal with as Aniston Harms, that Band-Aid on that right knee, you can see the blood getting exposed there. Then you probably should stop it at some point here and clean that up. Here on the left side, Chloe Cook in the lane. The layup good with the harm. Chloe Cook able to continue taking it to the rim and able to go to the line for one more free throw.
Yeah, it seems like whenever the York Dukes need a bucket or a really, really good heads-up play, they go to Chloe Cook, and I think she's been active on both ends, but especially on the offensive end when you need to get back the momentum. And then what I mean by that is stop a momentum run or what's received in this game as a run by Waverly, or get it back here for Dukes.
York Dukes to take the lead. Chloe Cook is able to hit it. York has their first lead in this one or I should say their first lead since the 7:47 mark when they led by 1-0. Here is the Waverly Vikings. On the left side, it's Kenna Cotman. Cotman, top of the key now to Lambrick. Lambrick working, throws it right side to Aniston Harms. Harms with it, guarded by Portwine. Portwine forcing her to drive to the left side. She does drive left side down the lane. Layup unable to get going. Christensen with the offensive board, and she puts the layup back in. It's a 16-15 Waverly lead.
Yeah, I think originally Christensen wanted the ball at the top of the key, but she came and set a screen, rolled, didn't get the pass, but she did a really good job of getting the offensive rebound with the putback.
So here, now top of the key near the logo. Here's Chloe Cook with it for the York Dukes. Crosses over, fakes right, goes left. Another great take by Chloe Cook.
Really good job by Cook of going left hand down the middle of the lane and using the rim and the net as a protector. Easy layup there for Cook.
Aniston Arms with it near the logo. She goes right side. Portwine trying to cover her, trying to chase her down, not able to do it. Another layup good by Aniston Arms.
Yeah, really good answer there. I like the pace of this game. We're starting to pick up now with 2.5 minutes left.
We have Aniston Arms' Band-Aid is laying on the floor over there.
Well, Aniston Arms doesn't even really notice. She's keeping it rolling. She's trying to inspire her team to really lock in on defense.
They got to have the nurse come over, or the trainer, I should say, and
they're
taking their sweet time.
Hey, look at Harm. She's walking the other way. Look.
Yeah, she's like, that's not mine. Yeah. Well, now she might go get another Band-Aid.
Yeah,
she's going to go get another Band-Aid.
Yeah, that was a pretty slick move. It's kind of like when you were a young kid.
There you go. It wasn't me.
Who spilled the milk? It wasn't me.
I walked away.
Yeah.
So she's good now.
You know, Nick, I think obviously the first quarter and a half, I think it was obviously slow motion, and obviously it wasn't slow motion as far as the pace. I think it's just ability to get to see the ball go through the hoop. But I think now the nerves are fully out of each team, and I think they've seen a couple baskets and opportunities go in. I think it's going to pick up for the next, 2.5 minutes, but then also the second half. 2
minutes, 27 seconds, as Jay said, remaining in the second quarter. It's 18-17 Waverly on top of the York Dukes. The York Dukes have the basketball, though, on offense. Here in the lane, York kicks out to Chloe Cook. Cook in the side. She takes a hard take to the rim, unable to get it to fall. But that's really been the only consistent source of offense. Yep. Chloe Cook has 12 of their 17 points. Here for Waverly, it's Aniston Harms. She'll pop the three from the right wing. Missed it badly. It goes out of bounds. Harms misses that one. It's going to be York Duke basketball.
Yeah, probably a little bit quick to shoot that in the shot clock, but even in the offensive rhythm for Harms, I'm sure the coach is saying, you know what, we can get that anytime. Coming down is essentially a 28, 29-foot three. So you'd like to see it in that time, maybe have Christensen touch it, maybe some motion, trying to get an easier shot.
On the right side, it's Portwine. Portwine looking around, throws the top of the key to Chloe Cook. Left side now, here is Hirschfield. Hirschfield throws it out of bounds, and Harms tries to save it, unable to do so. It'll be York Duke basketball.
Yeah, Harms did a really good job there with the steal. Potentially was going to try to save it. But the one thing she needs to save is that Band-Aid underneath so you don't have another stoppage.
And jumper, but a traveling violation. The shot went in by Portwine, but it was a traveling violation first. And, they're probably going to need to put, I would imagine,
just a little wrap on
a wrap, because the Band-Aid keeps falling off as she continues to bend that knee. Understandable. It's a little bit more of a bigger bandage on that right knee for Aniston Arms, but it continues to start to fall off. Now it's halfway off for her along the sideline.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens on each possession, Nick, for the last minute and 31 seconds, because this is where you can really extend your lead if you're Waverly or try to really blow up this first half if you're the York Dukes, because overall I think Waverly has probably had the easier opportunities, but I think the York Dukes have had timely baskets to almost even the score.
On the right side, as the York Dukes blow up a screen, Aniston Arms with it at the top of the key, gives it to Christensen. 11 on the play clock. 1:15 on the game clock. As the pocket of Parker Christensen's picked, it hit Arms in the face. She gets the basketball right back. Now Christensen with 2 to shoot. Not sure if she sees it. She throws up a last-second heave, unable to go. It's going to be a shot clock violation as that did not hit the rim.
Yeah, if it just had maybe grazed the rim, that would have been a bad luck right there for York, because number 12, what the Portwine didn't really, I guess, track the trajectory, caught her by surprise and went out of bounds.
We've seen that also, is they haven't really been able to, across multiple games, track the trajectory of, especially from the corner, and understand, hey, it's not going to even touch the rim here.
Yeah, and I think that affects you defensively. We talked about free throws and obviously shooting. I think defensively, on defensive rebounds as well.
Portwine with it in the lane, puts up a tough contested shot, and she is fouled. you mentioned it there. York's got to be careful because number 20 for the Dukes, Reese Hirschfield, is getting real close to being called for a moving screen.
Yeah.
I think it's less on Hirschfield, though, and more on the ball
guard.
handler.
Yeah, we talked about this last night with Bellevue East, I think.
Talked about it this afternoon with Scott. With the D2 game between whoever we had the second game of the day.
And it's because, yes, everybody gets mad at the screener, but ultimately it's on the guard to be patient and then also set it up so the screen can actually be more effective. But you know what? If I was, the Waverly coach or the assistant coach, that's something that you need to put in your notebook to maybe put the bug in the ref's ear just in case they decide to call it in the second half. It could be a game-changing call that could work in your favor.
It was Dorchester and Silver Lake that we talked about, second game of the day. All right, here we go. York goes 1 for 2 at the free throw line. We're all tied up 18 apiece, 40 seconds until halftime. On the right side, Waverly has it, 36 seconds on the game clock. Harms down low to Christensen, turns around the jumper, off back iron, off the left side of the rim, rather. Chloe Cook out and running. The York Dukes have numbers. Cook goes out to the perimeter. They'll slow it down. Back to Cook it goes for the York Dukes. They're going to hold probably for one shot. As the assistant coach for the York Dukes, as Justin Rodriguez says, one shot. They put up a shot with 15 seconds on the game clock, and Waverly is actually going to get the last shot of the game. Aniston Arms up the floor, Lambrick. Lambrick, shot fake, dribbles it off her foot, and York comes up with it for a moment, and we'll have an out-of-bounds call. It's going to go in the way of the Waverly Vikings. 2.8 seconds on the game clock. If you're a coach here, you got to use it or lose it timeout. Do you use it with 2.8 on the clock?
Well, I mean, with a veteran team like this, you could go and roll with it.
Yeah.
But I've had a very young team, kind of like Bell West. I'm going to use it. But I think there's not many plays you can run here. It's got to be a quick hitting play. It's going to be more of a quick game play that we saw earlier in the day. But I'm trying to see if I can get Christensen maybe a secondary pass in her sweet spot. Maybe not initially, but secondary pass.
Sideline inbound. They inbound it to Harm. She throws up a heave. It goes behind the backboard. There's the horn. And at halftime, your score, the 3 seed in Class B action, the Waverly Vikings are tied with the 6-seeded York Dukes. We're knotted up at 18 apiece from Pinnacle Bank Arena here in the Class B quarterfinal matchup on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hello.
Believe it or not, old phones are one of the most common pain points in offices today. Many of these phones are beyond repair because parts aren't available to fix outdated devices. Whether it's a traditional phone system or cloud-based VoIP technology, Hamilton Business Phones can help upgrade your connection. We make it easy to sync your office phone with your cell for seamless call handling, no matter where you work. If your current office phone can't do this, you deserve better. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Lincoln Federal Savings Bank, personal banking like you remember.
Hi, this is Chris Elgert, loan originator at Lincoln Federal. I know that buying a home is one of the most important decisions a person will make in their lifetime. That's why you need an experienced loan professional to explain all the options available, to answer all your questions, and to make the home buying process a rewarding experience. Talk with me and discover why Lincoln Federal is personal banking like you remember. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Your possibilities are endless at Doane University. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane University, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our long history of innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes us different. Now is your time. Take a big step toward your dream career and apply today at dome.edu/apply.
It may not feel like it, but planting season is on its way, and now's the time to upgrade your equipment with a late model John Deere planter from Acres Equipment. Acres has an entire lineup of John Deere planters equipped with the latest technology to ensure planting accuracy throughout your field. And to get you up and going, each planter purchased from Acres includes in-field startup support from one of our Precision Ag professionals. Warmer weather is coming soon, so don't delay. Visit your local Acres for details. Offer expires April 30th, 2025.
You know you want those Wingstop boneless wings. With the boneless meal deal from Wingstop, you get 20 boneless wings in 4 delicious flavors and a large order of hand-cut fries for just $16.99. What are you waiting for? More wings, more flavor, more bang for your buck. The $16.99 boneless meal deal from Wingstop. Order now from wingstop.com. Valid at participating locations for a limited time on orders for pickup or delivery placed via wingstop.com or the Wingstop app. Prices may vary by location. See wingstop.com/offers for full details.
High school basketball fans, take a trip over to the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame while you're in town for state hoops. Admission is free, and it's a great way to learn about some of the greatest athletes and teams to come out of the state, from recently to over 100 years ago in all sports. Learn more about names like Gale Sayers, Johnny Rogers, Bob Gibson, Tom Osborne, and more. Open Wednesday through Friday from 1 to 4 p.m. It's the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame, just north of Haymarket Park at 500 Charleston Street.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Hey, bestie! Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too. My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own. Always in the driver's seat, huh? Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot. Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop. Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
It's the two-fingered wave on a gravel road. It's letting the kids take dad's truck to prom. It's Friday nights under the lights of a hometown football field. Eustace Body Shop knows small towns. It's where our values are rooted. We treat our people right, and in turn, they treat you, our customer, right. And we give back to our communities. Not much more small town than that. Eustace Body Shop, small town service, big city technology.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Now back to the 2025 State Basketball Tournament live from Pinnacle Bank Arena on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into Pinnacle Bank Arena, the final game of quarterfinal action here. Nick Sainert, Jay Foreman with you. We got a couple of minutes until we start the third quarter, but Jay, I think the word to categorize this is a grinder.
Yeah.
Just because it's been a good basketball game. There's been good looks. There's been good shot opportunities, just not dropping.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you have a star player like Parker Christensen, 3 of 8 from the field, 4 of 8 from the free throw line, you're seeing a lot of misses. And then obviously you had other players. Look at Anderson Harms, 1 of 5, and she missed multiple layups. Yeah. And it's not any lack of effort. It just seems like a really tight rim. And then also when you look at York overall, they're 7 of 22, so nobody's really lighting up besides Chloe Cook. Yep. And, that's offsetting Portwine 0 for 4, Kern 1 for 4, or 1 for 5, excuse me. But I think the biggest difference in this game, right, even though it's 18 to 18 as far as the total score, is the rebounding edge for Waverly.
Yeah.
I always talk about laying deposits, body blows early in the game, and specifically when we're talking about the run game in the football game or during the football season. But that's no different than pushing the pace or like Bellevue West last night, or in this case, Waverly Vikings really controlling the defense and offensive boards with the 8 rebound lead or for advantage, coming or going into halftime. So each coach is like, hey, look, the message is the same.
Yeah.
We have played our worst half of basketball. It's understandable. We're in a new arena, different backdrop, depth perception, and all that. And the turnovers are the same. There's not, we got the same amount of steals. Nobody's really shooting really good from the field. But then now the second thing you got to talk about, look, make maybe a little bit of adjustments, maybe focus on the concepts that work, right? And obviously with York, it's getting the ball to Chloe Kern, and then obviously on the opposite side is Christensen. But then also say, listen, we got to do A, B, and C in order to win this game. And it's going to be interesting to see in the first 2 minutes of the second half what's been implemented in a very short time at halftime, and then what's executed in the next, 2 quarters. And what's funny is, once halftime starts, I think it's 11 to 12 minutes?
Yep.
Yeah, 12 minutes?
Yeah.
Seems like it just goes by fast. It's almost like when you get trouble at school, Nick, and you got to get home because your dad and mom waiting for you. The clock goes by fast. So as a coach, and the reason why I'm saying it, you have to be really, really effective in how you communicate with and to your assistant coaches. And then obviously everybody have different roles, how you're spreading that to the team. And then you got to get them refocused, remotivated, re-energized because you got 2 more quarters potentially left in your season.
18-18 is your score at the break. We are a couple of minutes away from kicking off the third quarter of action here from Pinnacle Bank Arena. We're all knotted up between Waverly and York. We'll start the third quarter right after this on the ticket.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you the highest quality roofing solutions. Whether it's new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
When you or a loved one hears the words, "You have cancer," you want to make sure you're surrounded by a team you can trust, who will be a true partner in your cancer journey. At NHO, you'll be treated like family, and you'll feel that compassion every time you walk through our doors. After all, this is the fight of your life, and you'll need the best people to be on your side. We're Nebraska Hematology Oncology. On your side, by your side.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Your possibilities are endless at Doane University. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane University, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our long history of innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes us different. Now is your time. Take a big step toward your dream career and apply today at doane.edu/apply.
Now back to the 2025 State Basketball Tournament live from Pinnacle Bank Arena on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into Pinnacle Bank Arena. Nick Sainert, Jay Foreman back with you from PBA as we get ready for our final half of basketball for day number 2. As Port Wine has it at the elbow, the York Dukes open up with the possession of the basketball. We're all tied up at 18 apiece, and that shot will go out of bounds. Last touch by the York Dukes and Port Wine.
Yeah, a little quick hit and play coming out of the halftime for the York Dukes to try to get Port Wine going. So obviously just letting you know, besides Chloe Cook, that Port Wine has looked to be the second leading scorer, but didn't work out too well.
Yeah. As Parker Christensen has it for the Waverly Vikings, 7 minutes, 40 seconds. Waverly led for the majority of that first half. Bodies a scrum on the floor as they get tangled up. Slow to get up was number 12 for the Waverly Vikings. That is Jackson. Anderson Harms with a little bit of a better wrap job on her right knee. They had to clean up some blood during the half. 3-pointer on the way, and it's finally able to go in for Kenna Cotman as Waverly. That was their second 3-pointer of the day, the second of the game between both teams.
Yeah, Nick, when either team hasn't seen the ball go in the hoop, I like that Cotman held her form and made sure it went through. She didn't want to wish any bad luck on that shot there.
Yeah, speaking of threes not making it, is York hits it off the side of the backboard. Here's Anderson Harms with it for the Waverly Vikings. Here on the right side, Kenna Cotman with Waverly up by 3, just underway here in quarter number 3. In the left side, Lambrick driving baseline. Great defense there by number 24. That's Wilkinson for the York Dukes. Lambrick thought about popping the tray, decides to dribble drive. She bounces it off her knee to the York Dukes. It goes.
Really good job there by Wilkinson on the initial closeout, stopping the drive by Lambrick, and then Lambrick got the angle on her on the secondary pass to get to the hoop. Quick hands there by Chloe Cook, knocked it off of her leg. York basketball.
Here's Chloe Cook on the right side. Tough physical screen, a 3-pointer on the way, bounces around the rim, and it just does not fall. That basket on the south side of the PBA gym is not anybody's friend right now. Waverly probably thrilled that they don't have to shoot on that end of the floor anymore. Parker Christensen in the lane, takes the bump off the glass, unable to get it to go, but she'll go to the line to shoot 2 shots.
Yeah, on the previous possession, Kinsley Kern did a really good job setting her feet, had looked like a good shot, just rattled through the rim out. Fast break opportunity on the opposite end for Waverly, getting it to Christensen. I like the idea of Waverly coming out and trying to feature a different player. You wanted Kenna Cotman hit a 3, didn't really get it to Christensen. Second possession, get a little bit of a wheel action, got her advantage. Now she's at the free throw line.
As Christensen goes 1 for 2 at the free throw line, it's 22-18. Port Wine bringing it across the timeline for York, trailing by 4. They pass it right side now with it. Top of the key, Chloe Cook with it. Chloe Cook had 12 points in that first half as the Port Wine, the guard for the York Dukes, has it at the top of the key. She drives in, kicks it out. Chloe Cook with 13 to shoot in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball on the way for the York Dukes, and it rattles halfway down and out. As bodies fight on the floor, we're going to have a pause in the action. A jump ball. We'll give it to the Waverly Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, the York Dukes are facing the same troubles that Waverly Vikings had in that first half. All of them were good shots. Both 3-point attempts by the York Dukes looked like they were going in, routed out. The best thing you could do, Nick, is keep shooting the shots that you know you can make, and then hope that they go in. But more importantly, try to get some shots to some layup attempts and some more mid-range shots as well.
Here's Anderson Arms. She passes it off down low. Christensen gets bumped from behind and fouled on the entry pass by Chloe Cook. That'll be Cook's second personal foul.
Right now when you're trying to really manufacture some points and some offense, this is, as a coach, the hardest time. But also you have to have a sheet. You have your game plan in your front pocket, your other front pocket, in your back pocket. You have an emergency game plan.
Here's Harms on the take, misses the layup. The rebound corralled by the York Dukes. It's 22-18 up the floor. It goes in the lane. A tough shot and then a jump ball. Nice defensive play by the Waverly Vikings. The possession arrow gives it to the York Dukes.
That was an excellent rebound there by the York Dukes player, Kinsley Kern. Then you got it up there to, I think it was Nichols?
It was.
And it was a really good catch in traffic, but an even better defensive play by Waverly causing the jump ball.
Port Wine to Cook. Cook at the top of the key. Now right side, 3-ball on the way. And there's the moving screen, but it's on a different player than we expected.
Yeah.
Jacobson gets whistled for
Sydney
it, and it's
Jacobson
turnover.
had to pay for Hertzfield's numerous movement screen attempts in the first half, but a really good job of Waverly trying to fight through it. Sometimes even on a moving screen, you might try to just blow it up, and then it'll be a foul on you. They actually tried to get through the screen.
22-18 your score. Waverly out in front by 4. Here on the left side, it's Cotman. Cotman drives left side, unable to go anywhere. Now that pass tipped away, taken away by the York Dukes. Going in transition, hesitating is Nichols. Nichols in the lane, can't get the layup to fall. The rebound tipped out and controlled by Jacobson. Jacobson to Portwine, and that's going to be a double dribble as Portwine hesitated. I think she wanted to set up for the three-point attempt, but then she realized that the closeout was going to deter her from that, and she tried to dribble the ball again, and it was called for a double dribble.
Yeah, Portwine thought she could jack up that three, and then she saw the closeout was awful aggressive.
Yeah.
What they like to call in basketball, Nick, is runner off the three-point line.
Yeah.
Other hand came on there, double dribble, easy call.
4:59 to go, third quarter, 22-18 your score. Waverly holds a 4-point lead. We'll step aside for 30 seconds.
Believe it or not, old phones are one of the most common pain points in offices today. Many of these phones are beyond repair because parts aren't available to fix outdated devices. Whether it's a traditional phone system or cloud-based VoIP technology, Hamilton Business Phones can help upgrade your connection. We make it easy to sync your office phone with yourself for seamless call handling, no matter where you work. If your current office phone can't do this, you deserve better. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Now back to the action at Pinnacle Bank Arena for the 2025 State Basketball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in, PBA. Nick Center, Jay Foreman with you. Waverly with the basketball. They have it with a 4-point lead. Christensen has it driving baseline. She gets knocked out of her hands, but they're going to say the last touch was by the York Dukes. Neither official knew which way to call it. They asked for help. The one on the baseline that was closest to play had no idea. He looked at the other guy, and reluctantly, he just said, all right, we'll give it to the Waverly Vikings. They throw it over the top. Parker Christensen wide open for the layup.
Really good move there. A little bit of a fake screen and little pop there to the 6-foot senior, all everything forward. Good basket there by the Waverly Vikings.
Here's Portwine for the York Dukes. Running left side now, Chloe Cook with it, 24-18. The York Dukes still scoreless here in the second half, as Cook drives in, and she's going to be bumped and fouled by number 12 for the Waverly Vikings. That's Mia Jackson, the 5'11 sophomore.
You know, I think the York Dukes obviously showed you coming out of halftime. They were trying to get Portwine some looks, but you know what? You're down by 6. You're not panicking. What did you do? You go back to Chloe Cook.
24-18, York with the basketball down by 6. Portwine looking for help. Tries to get it over into the near side. It's tipped out of bounds by Aniston Harms as that ball goes behind us over here on the media section, and it'll be York Duke basketball. Still 4:14 to play in the third quarter. York needs a bucket, though. They inbound it to Portwine. Go ahead, Jim.
I think Waverly has done a really good job of really trying to dig in and lock in on defense and not give York Dukes a lot of easy shots that hurt. Whoa.
Wilkinson gets hit hard. No whistle as Wilkinson slow to get up after taking a tumble. They're telling her to take her time getting up off the floor. But Wilkinson there, slow to get up after she tried to get and draw a foul on Parker Christensen, was unable to do so. And so with 24-18 is your score, 4:04 to play, York with a baseline inbounds.
Yeah, I think her momentum was going so far away from the basket, it was hard to call a foul.
Here on the right side, they get it to Portwine. Portwine being chased down, harassed by the guard of Waverly, Kenna Cotman. Now Portwine in the lane, left side off the glass. What a nice play by Portwine.
Yeah, I didn't know if she was going to shoot that or kick it back out, but she caught the angle there, high off the glass to stop the momentum of Waverly right there.
Nice job by Lainey Portwine there from the left side of the rim. 3 minutes, 40 seconds to go, third quarter. 24-20 is your score. Bouncing it to the top of the key, Aniston Harms. Down low, Parker Christensen in the lane. The layup good. Too easy for Parker Christensen.
All right, here we go. Back-to-back possessions. The confidence and the breath of relief from Parker Christensen starting to show and prove why she's one of the best in the state.
Here's Lainey Portwine. Gives it off to Kern. Kern driving baseline. One-handed pass across the way. 2-point basket. Doesn't even matter. It missed it badly. And the rebound goes into the hands of Kenna Cotman for Waverly as they have a 26-20 lead. Up the floor, here's Jackson. Mia Jackson in the lane. Great job defensively. She misses the layup, and the York Dukes elect the miss. Up the floor, rushing it, goes Chloe Kern. Kern, left side of the lane, and she is fouled hard by Mia Jackson. Chloe Kern will go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, we're seeing it back and forth. Star power going against star power, right? Christensen back-to-back baskets. You know what? What do you got to do when you want to stop a momentum or stop the momentum of Waverly? Get it into Chloe Kern's hands.
I misspoke. Chloe Cook at the free throw line.
Excuse me.
Yeah, they have a player with the last name Kinsley Kern who we're referencing, but Chloe Cook with the missed free throw the first time around, and it's 26-20 still. York 0 for 13 from beyond the three-point line today. They are 4 for 8 from the charity stripe.
Yeah, Nick, and they're at the end of the court that does not bode well if you're struggling from the three-point line.
2 minutes, 58 seconds to go, third quarter, 26-20. The second free throw, no good. Bounced off the rim, and Aniston Harms collects the defensive rebound. Harms will bring it across the timeline, and Waverly bounces it left side now. Here is Cotman. Cotman down low to Parker Christensen, inside-out game, top of the key to Lambrick. Lambrick looking for help. Has already extinguished her dribble. Now that pass intercepted, taken away by Lainey Portwine. Being chased down by Harms. She's fouled hard with the bucket. Lainey Portwine able to go to the line for one more free throw after she's fouled on the and one opportunity by Aniston Harms.
Yeah, big steal there by Portwine and a good finish there to add a chance for the and one. You know what? For Aniston Harms, you most likely are going to give up a layup. The swipe at it made it too easy of a call for the ref.
The free throw unable to go as the rebound fielded by the Waverly Vikings. They hold a 26-22 lead after back-to-back buckets by the York Dukes. They get it to Christensen on the perimeter. Christensen at the right elbow going downhill with it off the glass, and it falls. Nice job by Parker Christensen.
Yeah, Parker Christensen, the last 3 times she's touched the basketball has been 6 points. And so now you're seeing the super senior, the star power start to come alive, right? And one thing about Parker Christensen and Chloe Cook is that their confidence never wavers. You got to think, Parker Christensen was 3 of 8 before those last 3 baskets. Now she's 6 of 11, well over 50%. Now she's right on pace, at least from the field where she usually is.
It is 28-22. They have the scoreboard wrong in the arena. It's 28-22, 2:17 to go in the third quarter. We'll go ahead and keep it right here during the Waverly timeout. We want to tell you about our friends at Lincoln Federal Savings Bank. Buying a home is one of the most important decisions a person will make in a lifetime. Contact Chris Elgert to make the process as smooth as possible. Lincoln Federal Savings Bank and our guy Chris Elgert over there. 28-22 is the score, 2:21 to play in the third quarter. Waverly holds a 6-point advantage as on the day, York starting to find the bottom of the bucket, not from beyond the three-point line, but from the field. Both teams have hit the same amount of shots. York is 9 of 31, while Waverly 9 of 27.
And the difference is in the 2 3-point shots. But you know what's also really interesting, Nick, is the Waverly Vikings have only shot 6 threes, whereas York has shot the volume and twice as much. And +1. And so that's the difference in maybe offensive philosophy, but then also difference in what they need their stars to do, which is obviously get more mid-range and layups.
So the York Dukes have the basketball down by 6. It's 28-22. Here on the right side, Lainey Portwine trying to beat the defender off the dribble, unable to get past her. Great defense there. Good screen set on the pick and roll. Pass deflected there by Kenna Cotman. Here with the basketball, it is Kern. Shot fake in the lane off the take. It's a blocking foul charge to the Waverly Vikings. It looked like for a moment that number 24, Kinsley Wilkinson, was going to take the 3-point shot for the York Dukes. She decided to pass it up. Probably the better decision when you're shooting 0 for 13 as a team, and especially on this rim.
She really did a good job of baiting the defender King from Waverly to come out and really close out on her hard, drove right past her. Kind of like the play where she had a big, not flop, but she hit the ground pretty hard. More body control. She leaned into the secondary defender, allowed her to get to the free throw line to try to knock into this deficit.
Here is Kinsley Wilkinson. She made the first one, and she makes the second one. It's 28-24, 1:57 to go in the third quarter. Aniston Harms of the Waverly Vikings has the basketball. She bounces it left side to King. King now to Lambrick, down low to Christensen. Christensen on the block, working on Chloe Cook. Got her to jump in the air. The floater is good. A nice move there by Parker Christensen going over her left shoulder.
Okay, Nick, now she's at 19 points. She's made the last 4 baskets that she's attempted. She's starting to heat up there. Look at the confidence in her eyes.
Cross-court skip pass. York with the layup, and a foul is called on King as the take was by number 20. That is Hirschfield of the York Dukes. She's going to go to the line to shoot 2.
Good drive there. Good strong drive there by Hirschfield. And also a good play there by King. And what happens is Hirschfield was going so hard towards the basket. King actually had a clean block, but it was a body contact and a body foul on the shot.
The first free throw was no good. And Hirschfeld at the line for one more. The second one on the way. That one is good. 30-25. York is keeping it close enough to where Waverly's still got to be on their P's and Q's.
Yeah, I know there's only a minute and about 20 seconds left, but York has done a good job of taking the fight to Waverly and got them in the bonus already.
Pass on the right side. It's Anderson Harms. 1:17 to go. Third quarter. Parker Christensen with Lambrick flashing. Shot blocked from behind, but a foul is called on Nichols. Murphy Nichols called for the foul on York.
Really good job of York kind of putting a secondary option on getting the ball to Christensen. Obviously, she's hot. Then you brought Lambrick on a backside wheel action at the free throw line once again.
Here's the free throw. The first one, no good by Lambrick. Lambrick now is 1 for 3 at the free throw line. One more opportunity coming up.
There's a little bit of a pivotal time in this game. A 5-point lead, maybe looking to get it to 6. Can you extend the lead? And then obviously can York go on a mini run right before the end of the third quarter?
31-25 is your score after Lambrick goes 1 for 2 at the charity stripe. 1:04 to play in the third quarter. York Dukes with the basketball. Chloe Cook in the lane. Bounces it out here on the right elbow. Looking for help are the York Dukes. Cross-court pass. And back out to Chloe Cook. Little bit of miscommunication. She almost bobbled that basketball. Here's Portwine on the left elbow, driving to the other side of the lane, kicks it out. It's almost bobbled, safe from going out of bounds, and now bodies on the hardwood, and Anderson Harms comes up with it. 42 seconds in the game, in the third quarter. 31-25, Waverly with the 6-point advantage and the basketball. Anderson Harms bounces it to Parker Christensen. They throw Anderson Harms on away from the ball screen, trying to move her away, and it's an offensive foul.
Yeah, and King is a little bit upset at herself. We had talked about Hirschfield from York with the moving screen. She was a culprit of her own, and she's just mad that she didn't get there quick enough, establish herself, because they had a good play set up for Addison Harms.
Here is Laney Portwine. Portwine will slowly bring it across the timeline. They can hold the York Dukes, that is, for the final shot. They trail by 6, 31-25, with 22 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Laney Portwine on the take. They're going to say no shot. Yeah. She made the layup. Does not matter. She'll still go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, Portwine had Amos in a no-win situation, so what you do is you try to foul on the ground. But more importantly, for York, like we mentioned before, they had already had Waverly in the bonus at the free throw line trying to get 2 points.
So Laney Portwine at the line for 2 free throws. She on the night is 1 for 3 from the charity stripe. The first free throw for Laney. It rattles around and out. No good on the free throw. 21.7 on the game clock. 31-25 is your score. Waverly out in front of the York Dukes. York at the free throw line with one more free throw coming up. Laney Portwine.
So Nick, and if this is you, potentially only have a 5-point lead if she makes his free throw. Do you try to save? Yep. Do you try to go for just one shot and try to find a way to get it to Christensen? You had a pretty good play set up for Harms. Yep. Do you go back to that? Or do you just take what the defense gives you?
I think if it's there with Christensen, how can you tell her not to shoot? How can you tell her to wait a couple of seconds? As Waverly has the basketball, they get it to Lambrick, top of the key. They used Christensen as a decoy there, and now throwing it off for the defensive rebound. It's going to stay with Waverly.
All right, right now 3.4 seconds. So you got to have your best baseline out of bounds play. They got to figure out who's going to inbounds the play first. Or Harms. I like Harms a little savvy there, just taking her time.
They get it in. Christensen, jumper on the way. It's good, and that will do it for the third quarter of play. They ran that same play as they did a few moments ago, and both times Christensen has a layup out of it. It's an easy shot. It's the end of the third quarter. Let's step aside. Going into the final period of play, Waverly leads York 33-26 here at Pinnacle Bank Arena.
You know you want those Wingstop boneless wings. With the boneless meal deal from Wingstop, you get 20 boneless wings in 4 delicious flavors and a large order of hand-cut fries for just $16.99. What are you waiting for? More wings, more flavor, more bang for your buck. The $16.99 boneless meal deal from Wingstop. Order now from wingstop.com. Valid at participating locations for a limited time on orders for pickup or delivery placed via wingstop.com or the Wingstop app. Prices may vary by location. See wingstop.com/offers for full details.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Stocking all the top brands, including Can-Am, Honda, Polaris, Kawasaki, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Sea-Doo, Manitow pontoon boats, and Triton trailers. Come check out Nebraska's newest Indian motorcycle dealership, plus score big on their massive selection of side-by-sides, all-terrain vehicles, motorcycles, and power watercraft. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has it all under one roof at their new 27th and I-80 location, and they can't wait to get you set up for the summer.
Now back to the 2025 state basketball tournament live from Pinnacle Bank Arena on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. Waverly leads at 33-26 as we begin the fourth quarter of play. Waverly out on top by 7. They'll have the basketball to start quarter number 4. Here on the right side, here is Parker Christensen in the lane off the glass, unable to get it to fall, but she gets another crack at it. Can't get that second opportunity to go in. And York does a smart thing. That's Chloe Cook throwing it off the leg of a Waverly ball player, and it's going to be York Duke basketball.
Yeah, Parker Christensen has made her last 4 buckets in a row, missed this one for 5 in a row. And sometimes when you get going 4 in a row, you expect the 5th one to go in as well.
In the right side, here's a three-point opportunity for the York Dukes. Still can't find the bottom of the barrel on a three-point shot, and the rebound is corralled by the Waverly Vikings. York trails by 7. 7 minutes, 23 seconds to go in the fourth. Here on the right side, here is Parker Christensen. Christensen at the top of the key now to Jackson. Jackson throws it to Harms. We talked about Harms during the break, Jay. Real steady at that point guard position.
Yeah, a lot of experience and smart, and plays with the right disposition. Is real smooth, and also cool, calm, and collected.
Here they hand it off to Jackson. Jackson in the lane, layup too short, just didn't have enough juice behind it, and the rebound goes into the hands of Portwine. Portwine, the one-handed pass off the floor to Cook. Cook for the York Dukes in the lane. She hesitates. Her shot's blocked by Christensen. I think that was a clean block. Good no call.
Yeah, that was a really good job by Christensen of blocking it and then tipping it back to herself. She didn't swat at it, which gives her a chance not to get a cheap foul there.
Christensen has it at the logo for the Waverly Vikings, who lead by 7. The winner of this one gets Gret in the East tomorrow night at 7:45 p.m. Down low, Christensen. A great backdoor cut to Lambrecht, and Berkeley Lambrecht is going to go to the line to shoot 2.
I like that play. You got it to Parker Christensen, and Lambrecht reads it. Once her defender goes to double Christensen, she backdoor cuts, and Christensen does a sneaky good thing there, is keeps it above her head and above her shoulders, and has her eyes ready to pass it to her teammate, and Lambrecht is at the free throw line, knocks down 1.
Lambrecht able to connect on the first free throw. It's 34-26. Waverly just continuing to add to their lead. It's not anything dramatic, but man, it feels like points are so hard to come by right now for York.
It's not dramatic, but it's systematic, because I think the execution in the first half, even though they didn't get any points out of it, is starting to pay dividends here in the second half.
Laney Portwine with it across the timeline. They go 6:25 to go, fourth quarter. Here on the right side, the York Dukes with the basketball, trailing by 9. 35-26. Chloe Cook with it at the top of the key. She spots up, thought about shooting the 3, decides to pass off to Laney Portwine instead, who's guarded closely by Aniston Harms. Now on the left side, Chloe Cook with it for the York Dukes. Passes near corner, or far corner rather, to Laney Portwine. Tough shot. She throws it up. I think she was thinking that the shot clock was about to expire. They still had a little bit of time, as that was an ill-advised shot.
You know, they got to settle down here and understand there's 6 minutes left. When we just saw this other game, it is a long time before this game is over.
Here on the right wing, it's King now to Lambrecht for 3, and Berkeley Lambrecht makes it a double-digit Waverly lead, and the head coach for the York Dukes, Matt Fike, wants to talk things over with 5:44 to go in the fourth quarter. We'll step aside for 30 seconds and come back here shortly on 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to the 2025 state basketball tournament live from Pinnacle Bank Arena on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back here at Pinnacle Bank Arena, The score 38-26 after a big Waverly three-pointer made by Berkeley Lambrick. Folks, you can join Freaky Fast Rewards today and earn a free sandwich after your first order as a member at Jimmy John's. Visit them online at jimmyjohns.com. All right, Jay, 38-26. What do you do if you're York? You cannot hit a three to save your life right now. You're 0 for 14, and offense is just hard to come by.
Well, it's going right into Chloe Cook's hands, even initially as we come down over half court, or I'm going to run some couple pin downs or secondary actions because every time she touches it, positive things happen.
On the right side, Lainey Portwine looking for help. Finds Chloe Cook. Three ball, top of the key. They need it. And she's unable to answer the call and does not make it. And Aniston Arms collects the defensive rebound. Harms will bring it across the timeline. 5:26 to go on the right side. Here's Parker Christensen next to the Waverly bench on the far sideline. Top of the key now to Jackson. Mia Jackson working across the defender. Here is King now right side as Berkeley Lambrick fought off the defender, gets bumped, no whistle, spin move, pivot in the lane on the block, looking around, Harms there to save the day. 9 seconds on the shot clock. They throw it down low to Parker Christensen, trying to save the day, turn around off the glass, and that's just too tough to defend.
Here she goes. Everything is starting to get heated up. 5 of the last 6, and when you need to extend the lead, who do you go to? 23.
Yeah, Parker Christensen, 23 points on the day. Lainey Portwine in the lane, kicks it out to Wilkinson. Wilkinson drives baseline trying to get it to her teammate. They do. Now the pass tipped out and taken away by Jackson, Mia Jackson of the Waverly Vikings. Here comes Christensen. Is that pass going to be taken away as it was intended for Aniston Harms? They'll spot up Portwine for 3. And finally, with 4:25 to go in the fourth quarter, York hits their first 3 of the day. They're now 1 for 16.
Yeah, who needs a defender? Stop, pull up 3 on the fast break court run, nothing but net.
And we have a John Cockerell timeout by the Waverly Vikings. Let's step aside with them. We'll be back in 60 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
High school basketball fans, take a trip over to the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame while you're in town for state hoops. Admission is free, and it's a great way to learn about some of the greatest athletes and teams to come out of the state, from recently to over 100 years ago in all sports. Learn more about names like Gale Sayers, Johnny Rogers, Bob Gibson, Tom Osborne, and more. Open Wednesday through Friday from 1 to 4 p.m. It's the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame, just north of Haymarket Park at 500 Charleston Street.
Now back to the action at Pinnacle Bank Arena for the 2025 State Basketball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Alrighty, 4:14 to play in the fourth quarter. It'll be a baseline inbound play for the Waverly Vikings. They lead at 40-29. They inbound it to Christensen. Christensen on the right side of the rim. And a foul with the bucket. Parker Christensen is unstoppable right now.
Nick, she's about 2 possessions away for 30 points, and you got to think how slow the game started for her, where she couldn't buy a bucket. I think she missed her first 3 or 4 attempts down at that end. Now at the north end, everything seems to go in.
The free throw for Christensen, she's in a groove. It's 43-39, or 43-29 rather. York Dukes down by 14. They need more points. Here is Lainey Portwine. Portwine running right side, looking for help. She finds her teammate. This is Cook now on the left side. Chloe Cook gives it to number 10. This is Kinsley Kern. And now in the lane, we have a foul called on the Waverly Vikings.
Yeah, Addison Harms a little bit upset. Felt like she played pretty textbook defense there, but it was too much body. But one thing, let's get back to Parker Christensen.
Yeah.
26 points, 11 rebounds, but I think it's more importantly the patience and also the unselfishness that she plays basketball. It lets you know you can be a really efficient scorer, but then also be a distributor as well. She has multiple assists, and then she's also in double digits in rebounds.
You're absolutely right. While we have a pause in the action, I want to tell you about our friends at Eustace Body Shop. Trustworthy, efficient, and certified. Eustace Body Shop, where their customers send their friends. Eustace Body Shop as well. Here we go. 3:55 to play in the fourth quarter. 43-29 is your score. The Waverly Vikings on top of York. 3:55 to play here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Join us tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. We'll be on the air around 8:55 a.m. as we get you ready for Class C1 action. It'll be our first look at Class C1 in the state tournament. It'll be Lincoln Christian going up against Gothenburg. Here on the far side for York, though, it is Kern. Kern throws up an acrobatic shot. It goes nowhere close to hitting the rim, and Addison Harms has the defensive rebound. Up the floor it goes to Kaufman. And now passes to Christensen. Christensen with 3:36 on the game clock, 23 on the possession. Parker Christensen in the lane, wide open layup, and she has 28 points.
Yeah, really good play there. A little bit different play. We haven't seen that action. A double screen at the top of the key, cut off, pinned down. Good play there by Christensen.
Here's Portwine, left side. Chloe Cook with it. Chloe Cook throws cross court, 45-29. Near side, shot fake, driving baseline, pass through, taken away, and intercepted by Aniston Harms. Christensen has it. And now looking for help. She picks up her dribble as York turns up the defensive intensity. Aniston Harms is here to save the day. Here's Harms, top of the key. She exhausts her dribble, looking for help. She calls for help. And Christensen now with it down in the box. Can't hit the layup. And the defensive rebound corralled by the York Dukes defense with 2:48 to play.
Yeah, and also let's not forget Christensen has played every minute in this game.
Her and Harms.
Yep.
On the right side, Laney Portwine with it. The floater on the way. It's good. Nice shot by Laney Portwine.
Yeah, Portwine starting to heat up maybe a little bit too little, too late. But one thing about Waverly, you knew with the ability to execute, but lack of getting rewarded on the points that they were capable of being explosive.
Another turnover here as Portwine is able to avoid a collision with Aniston Harms. Aniston Harms lucky that she didn't get called for a foul there with 2:17 to play. Here's York Dukes after forcing a Waverly turnover. Head coach Matt Fike of the York Dukes want to talk things over. 2:14 to play here in Pinnacle Bank Arena. We'll step aside with them. It's a full timeout. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
You know you want those Wingstop boneless wings. With the boneless meal deal from Wingstop, you get 20 boneless wings in 4 delicious flavors and a large order of hand-cut fries for just $16.99. What are you waiting for? More wings, more flavor, more bang for your buck. The $16.99 boneless meal deal from Wingstop. Order now from wingstop.com. Valid at participating locations for a limited time on orders for pickup or delivery placed via wingstop.com or the Wingstop app. Prices may vary by location. See wingstop.com/offers for full details. You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you the highest quality roofing solutions. Whether it's new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Now back to the action at Pinnacle Bank Arena for the 2025 State Basketball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. York Dukes basketball out of the York timeout. 2:11 to play in the fourth quarter. It's 45-31. Laney Portwine passes off. Now Chloe Cook has it top of the key. Cook in the lane, kicks out. 3 ball on the way, far corner. Unable to connect. The rebound tipped around a couple of times. And diving to the table was Chloe Cook as she brings it back. And it looks like she's going to be okay. The basketball was underneath the table. We're good to go. It's going to be York Duke basketball, though, so they catch a break.
Good effort there. One thing I can respect about the York Dukes is they're going to play hard all the way to the end. And I think this Waverly started. It went on a run, obviously, with Christensen heating up when she went 4 for 4 and almost 5 for 5. And then she's been lights out ever since. I think that has led the charge of the Vikings to extend this lead.
Here is Kern spinning around. Great defense by Aniston Harms. Now left side, Laney Portwine with it. 1:47 to go. Waverly up by 14. The floater by Portwine. Can't get it to fall. And here comes Cotman. Now York wants to foul, and they're going to end up fouling here. York's got some fouls to give.
Yeah.
But they might try to extend this one despite being down 14.
Yeah, it's 1 minute and 39 seconds left. I think, you have to take it over. You have to talk this over with your assistant coach. Is it realistic for us to make a 14-point, make up a 14-point deficit with the likes of Christensen and company really, really heating up? Or do we try to extend this next minute and 30 seconds of basketball time well into the middle of the night?
They're going to go ahead and foul. So we're going to start seeing this one get extended here. 1:38 to play in the fourth.
Nick, one thing I wanted to ask you about this. Obviously, we both, are former athletes, and sometimes when you're in this situation, what?
Former athletes, that's right. As
when you're in this
Waverly inbounds it.
situation and you can see the end is near,
Yeah.
do you just let it play out, maybe empty the benches and get some of your players that hadn't, had the experience in being to play on PBA and get some playing time? Or do you try to battle it out and extend a minute and 34 seconds for the next 15, 20 minutes?
Maybe,
what would you do, Nick?
I think maybe you extend it out for the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, okay.
And then if it gets within a minute and you're still down double digits, then you have that conversation.
And we saw that earlier.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. So Aniston Harms at the line, she's able to circle the cylinder and drop that first free throw in. Aniston Harms hasn't lit up the box score, but she doesn't necessarily do that. She has 3 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists.
But she's controlled the pace of the game magnificently.
Make it 4 points. 47-31.
Even number. I like that.
47-31. Port Wine has the basketball. The York Dukes with just one timeout remaining. Port Wine working with it, guarded by Cotman. Port Wine in the lane, an acrobatic shot, missed it badly. Berkeley Lambrecht comes up with a defensive rebound, and she's going to be immediately fouled. Berkeley Lambrecht will go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, I think the York Dukes took your advice, not all the way down to the minute mark, but the next 10 seconds. See if they could get maybe a 3-point play or a bucket to spark the energy here. But nevertheless, the Waverly Vikings locked it down. Locked it down, Nick.
Group of subs coming in for both sides for the Waverly Vikings. Number 30, it'll be Tatum McIntyre. Number 10, Ava Amos. Number 21, Carson Fink. Number 24, Breeley King. And after this free throw, number 35, Chelsea Weatherwax. For the York Dukes, their reserves coming in for them. Number 11, Callie Warden. Number 0, Myra Garrett. Number 1, Bailey Bathan. Number 14, Kylie Hammer. And number 5, Claire Cook.
Yeah, the Waverly Vikings, obviously, I think a veteran group and very, very good in their own right. They showed that wherewithal and experience to overcome some of their own, I guess, I wouldn't say bad luck, but just maybe the south end of the basketball arena where nothing would go in. They kept at it, they kept executing, and they blew the game wide open.
This is a York Duke squad with 4 seniors in their starting lineup as Lainey Portwine, Chloe Cook, Reese Hirschfeld, and Kinley Wilkinson are all seniors. Hugs going on at the York Duke sideline. Some tears starting to fall as Waverly leads this 148-31 with 1 minute and 11 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. York Duke with the basketball underneath their own basket. They get it into Cook. Now here on the right wing, Myra Garrett with it. Garrett bounces it to Kylie Hammer, top of the key, Cook. Cook with it, flashing down the elbow is the York Duke player, Callie Warden, but she can't hang on to the pass, and the Waverly Vikings take it over with less than a minute to go in the ball game. Number 30, Tatum McIntyre for the Waverly Vikings has it right side to Breeley King. A little bit of miscommunication. Left side now, Ava Amos has it top of the key. She picks up her dribble, looks for help, and finds Breeley King with it on the right wing. Down low on the block. Here, right-handed layup, high off the glass, can't go. Rebound tipped around a couple of times, and it's controlled by the York Dukes. 33 seconds to go in the ball game. York Dukes pushing the pace. Here they kick it out. 3-ball on the way, and it's no good on the attempt by number 14 for the York Dukes, Kaylee Hammer. And we have a timeout on the floor simply for just substitutions as 4 more subs come in for Waverly.
Yeah.
Number 15, Haley Recker. Number 2, Tyka Hoos. Number 43, Carly Cassabaum. And number 2, I missed one in there. Number 21, it was Carson Fink.
You know, Nick, I'll tell you this as a coach, I'm sure this is the best time. The hardest decision that you have to make is when you want to empty your bench in a positive way. Get everybody in and build your program this way, giving you a good feeling, getting ready for tomorrow.
Tessa Cockerell is also into the game for the Waverly Vikings. Here is Fink, gives it to Cockerell, top of the key. 12 seconds on the possession. Number 21 here with it that's Fink. Now left side, they give it to Recker. Recker works on the left wing, 3 on the game clock. That will about do it as they bring it around the right wing. There's the horn and your final score. The Waverly Vikings survive and advance. They win it 48-31 over the York Dukes, and they set up a date tomorrow night against 7-seeded Gretna East. That game will tip off between the Vikings and the Griffins at 7:45 p.m. tomorrow night. Jay Foreman, final thoughts on this one.
Parker Christensen. Yeah. She was outstanding tonight, even after a slow start. And that led the charge to really blow the game up. And obviously the York Dukes, they were a viable opponent. Cook did a really good job, but I think Parker Christensen came in and showed you she's everything as advertised.
Here are the games we have on deck tomorrow. We will start in Class C1 at 9 a.m. Number 1 seed Lincoln Christian going up against number 4 seed Gothenburg. Number 2 Minden against number 3 Milford. That one is at 10:45 a.m. Then in the afternoon session, we turn our attention to Class A as we see the Gessert twins and Millard West go up against Lincoln North Star at 1:30. Omaha West Side against Bellevue West at 3:15 p.m. In the evening session, we see Class B action. Omaha Scott against Bennington at 6 p.m. And then at 7:45 p.m., Gretna East against the Waverly Vikings. Out of those 6 games, Jay, which one excites you the most and why?
I'm looking forward to see Millard West against North Star.
Yeah.
I know they played earlier in the year, and Millard West had their way with them, but I think North Star has gotten better. I think they got better continuity, and I think Coach Tommy Johnson kind of coaches to really peak towards tournament time, and I think they have a style which is kind of like the kryptonite to Millard West, because they have the same type of athletes, and then they also have a veteran presence as well.
It's going to be a real good day on semifinal Friday. We're excited to bring it to you. All those 6 games coming your way tomorrow morning on 93.7 The Ticket. That'll do it for us. Once again, the Waverly Vikings defeat the York Dukes here on quarterfinal Thursday. We have gotten through 2 days of quarterfinal action, and now it's semifinal Friday. Tomorrow, all starting at 9 a.m., with Lincoln Christian and Gothenburg. My huge thanks to Austin Orman, Jake Bachhoven, Harrison Arns, and the entire crew back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. A massive thanks to my partner sitting next to me for the chunk of the day, Jay Foreman. Nick Sainert saying so long from Pinnacle Bank Arena. Your final score, once again, the Waverly Vikings knock off the York Dukes to survive and set up a date tomorrow night at 7:45 p.m. against the Gretna East Griffins in the Class B semifinal matchup. So long from Pinnacle Bank Arena here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Your possibilities are endless at Doane University. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane University, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our long history of innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes us different. Now is your time. Take a big step toward your dream career and apply today at doane.edu/apply.
When you or a loved one hears the words, "You have cancer," you want to make sure you're surrounded by a team you can trust, who will be a true partner in your cancer journey. At NHO, you'll be treated like family, and you'll feel that compassion every time you walk through our doors. After all, this is the fight of your life, and you'll need the best people to be on your side. We're Nebraska Hematology Oncology. On your side, by your side.
Attention! For the entire month of February, Acres has John Deere packaged oil and filters for 15% off. John Deere engineers its oil filters specifically for large ag equipment and commercial and residential mowers. With premium materials, these filters meet the unique demands of your farm and acreage. Following a strict maintenance routine with premium John Deere oil and filters ensures your equipment will run efficiently for years. Visit your local Acres store to start shopping today.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Stocking all the top brands, including Can-Am, Honda, Polaris, Kawasaki, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Sea-Doo, Manitow pontoon boats, and Triton trailers. Come check out Nebraska's newest Indian motorcycle dealership, plus score big on their massive selection of side-by-sides, all-terrain vehicles, motorcycles, and power watercraft. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has it all under one roof at their new 27th and I-80 location, and they can't wait to get you set up for the summer.
Your possibilities are endless at Doane University. Rooted in liberal arts, you can choose from undergraduate and graduate programs, all delivering real-world experience. At Doane University, we take a personal approach to education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our long history of innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities